Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about unfairness and how to react when you're getting treated unfairly versus how we usually react. Like, how do you deal with being treated unfairly? So, first, let me define unfairness to you. Unfairness is simply put a lack of equality or justice. It's very similar to discrimination, but can differ. And we've all dealt with unfairness in our own personal lives. So, why do we act so violently when we feel like we're being treated unfair? Besides the fact that obviously we are not being treated on a level that we deserve to be. So we actually have the fight or flight response kick in. It's a natural response that tells us to either fight for ourselves or retreat. But it's more likely that we are going to fight. So if somebody is led on to being stressed out, they will often go into a fight or flight response, where the flight would be to call a friend and complain, and the fight would be to confront the person, and oftentimes that leads to violence. Neuroscientists have actually done a moral decision-making study, and they found that basic primary reactions occur when your brain determines the situation is just not fair, demonstrating that your reactions are instinctually not logically driven. So essentially what's going on when you feel like you're being treated unfair is you lose your sense of logic and reasoning, and you act rashly because of this. So this can happen if you feel like somebody's playing by unfair rules or they're not playing by the rules. The problem is that different people have a different set of rules and values. And we get these different rules and values as we grow up and as we develop as people. So one of the most important things to do is think about whether this unfairness you're feeling is actually unfair, or if it's just your own personal values did not line up with this person, so you're angry about it. Because it's unfair to judge somebody based on what they think is right versus what you think is right. If there's a law that states what they're doing is wrong, then what they're doing is wrong. That's something you don't have to make for yourself. The government has deemed public safety as a priority, and as such has made laws to protect it. Now, in saying this, I know some people feel like some laws are unfair. But when it's not a law, and when it's a personal belief, and somebody has wronged you in that way, deem if this loss they have caused you is a natural loss or a perceived loss. Was it a loss of time? Was this a loss of just personal feelings? Feelings matter, but if you are going to respond in a violent manner, they don't matter that much. Did you lose respect of others or yourself because of the way this person had acted? If any of those are true, then you should non-violently stand up for yourself, but only after you've taken some time to calm down. So before you respond, before you can confront the person, please take a few deep breaths in and out, and take a just until you feel like you're able to think about what's going on. Now, when you feel disrespected or treated unfairly, and you feel like your rights were trampled on or stomped on or just all around disregarded, catch yourself. You are getting angry and frustrated, so you need to calm down. And as I said, take some breaths, take a moment to relax, and think critically of the situation. Think about if it's worth putting effort and energy into this area that clearly leads you to dark places, because we choose what we put our efforts into and what our energy is into. If they're discriminating against you, then it is a good time to stand up for yourself and confront the person non-violently, and make sure you're treating them the way that you would want to be treated. Because remember, live by the golden rule. We want to treat other people the way we want to be treated, and we always want to be the bigger person. If somebody else is meeting you here, you meet them here. That's just because it's always important to never resort to somebody else's level. Don't become them. Stay true to who you are, which is a good person. Because I do believe that we're all good at heart. If Anne Frank could believe that, then so can I, and so can you. Everybody is good at heart. Okay? Remember, we cannot control other people, and we cannot control everything. We are going to have situations in life where we're not treated fairly, and that we feel as though the odds are not stacked in our favor. And when this does occur, and you are treated unfairly, just remember, there has to be a bright side. And if there's not, look for what you still have going for you. So, you still have your friends, you still have your family. Those are some of the most constant and consistent things in your life. And just remember, no matter what, you are loved by someone. You are cared about by someone. So even when you're getting treated unfairly, you do have some things going for you. When you're forced into an unfair situation, don't choose not to focus on that. Look for positives in this situation. Look at positives that can arise from the situation. And if nothing else, move on. If you stood up for yourself and told the person what they did was wrong, great. If you chose to just walk away, but only after you've released the resentment and anger that you hold in your heart, then that's fine too. Because those are the most important things about this, is that you feel as though you have been treated unfairly, but that you have gotten rid of the anger and frustration that it brought you, and that you have moved on. Now, remember, if the person tells you while you confront them their side of the story and their side makes sense to you, that's great. If they, meet your nonviolence with violence, you can defend yourself, or of course, you can just let what happens and then report them to police. Remember, there is a distinction between discrimination and unfairness, and if you are being discriminated on, seek an attorney, seek a lawyer, and press your charges that way, because it's never okay to discriminate on someone. And even just bringing the case to court will show people who that person is. So I hope I've kind of helped you guys if you're dealing with unfairness. And just know you're not alone. We all go through that in our lives. And tomorrow I'll even share a story with you guys of a time where I was treated unfairly. There's been many times in my life, as I'm sure there have been many times in yours. I hope you guys have a great night, evening, or day, depending on when you're watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody. Peace out.